Hey beautiful, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, hi, my name is Alexisjayda and welcome. We are back with a new story time. Ooh, keeping. Bing, chicka, bing, chicka, bing. I hope everyone is having an amazing day. Did you guys peep the freaking headband? So cute. I found it at Marshall's. $3.99. So freaking cute. I picked up this one. This one was $4.99, I think, because of Easter, but still cute. Too bad it doesn't have the face. It just has the little ears, pero todavía it is adorable. So I got that. Super cute. My shirt I got from Target, and they are having a clearance sale for $6. I did a little TikTok, a little Instagram, a little Facebook, and showed you guys, but so freaking cute. I'm obsessed. So notification shout out goes to Sam. Thank you so much for your kind words. They really uplifted me. Thank you so freaking much. If you want to be part of the notification squad, all you have to do is just like the video, hit subscribe, and leave a comment down below, and your comment can possibly be my next notification shout out. So freaking excited to be back, you guys. It has been a hot minute. My eyes are like super cute because I put contacts in, but like the lights are like making them like this, where I'm like, oh my god, just super strong. Anyways, let's get into it. I recently did a story time that is not part of the Nanny series, so if you guys like to, you know, dabble a little bit more in like the cheesemate, I would definitely check that one out. It's previous. This is, if you're new here, a story time series that I have started. If you guys want to go all the way back to number 1 to understand this one, I would highly recommend it. But if not, girl, it's okay. Do what you want. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. Anyways, sit back, relax, let me know what you guys are doing. If you guys are cooking, if you guys are cleaning, if you guys are driving, if you guys are working, I would like to know all the cheesemate down below. You guys know I've done story times on my bags, my Playboy bags, and I ordered another one because I went live, and you guys were sending me some money. We're like, girl, get that purse. So this is from FAMBAM, pretty much, because you guys got it for me. I want to open it, and I think this is it. And if it's not the package, it's okay. I think this is it. When I went live, I was showing you guys the purses. And I think this is it. I'm so freaking excited. I think I have all the designs of this bag, and this is the last one, and I'm so freaking excited. I think it is it. Yeah, I think it is it. So, ew, hello smiles ugly. Says, dear cool cat. Thanks for buying something from my shop. You are awesome, kitty. Yes, I think this is it. She sent me some cute little goodies in here. How freaking cute. How cute. Look at that. That's so cute. I bought it off Poshmark. I'm gonna start posting on Poshmark because I'm like, girl, this is so fun. Ah, look, you guys. It's almost like an early birthday present. 6 months, huh? Oh my god. Oh my god. Why am I gonna cry? This is so... Look how freaking cute. Little Lex in me is like screaming, and it's so crazy when she comes out because I'm like, chill, look how freaking cute. Oh my god, why am I gonna cry? This is so cute. Look at this. I think I'm like really emotional because like none of this would be possible if it wasn't for you guys, and like it's part of like my healing and like my inner child, and it is so cute. Look how freaking cute. That is so cute. I don't know why I'm crying. Wow. Look how cute. That is so cute. I didn't think it was gonna be so cute. That's like super adorable. I did not think it was gonna be this cute. Look, that is so cute. It's like literally like a mini me. Oh my god, that is so cute. So if you guys see me ever out with like my Playboy purse, y'all better be like, that's so cute, because that is so cute. Oh my god. So I think now I have all of it, and yeah, you guys were sending me donations in my live, and I didn't ask for them. You guys are just sending it, so I just want to say thank you guys so much. And I got it, and I'm so freaking excited. Like it is literally so freaking cute. Like I don't even know how to explain it. Like I'm just like, I just keep staring at it. Like it is so cute. Someone did that on purpose. Why'd you do that? Oh my jeez. It like literally just flew out of my hands. Adorable. This is cute. This is lifting a little bit, but that's okay. We'll clean it. We'll clean it. Oh my gosh, Lex. I did not think we were going to cry. I cannot believe I cried. I'm so sorry. I was not expecting to get that emotional, but thank you guys so freaking much. Like, that honestly means so much to me, how sweet you guys are to me, and it makes me just, thank you. If y'all need to cry, oh, do it. That was such a good cry. All right, let's get right into it. I think this one's going to be a little bit long. You guys have asked me not to cut so much because usually when I do a story time, I record like 3-4 hours. I cut it down to an hour just because I get sidetracked so much. And it's like, Jay, that's not even part of the story time. Why did you just tell a whole other story time? Like, what are you doing? So I will leave as much as I can in. And sometimes I overshare and I'm like, that's too much, that's too much. But yeah, sit back, relax. I love you guys, and let's get right into it. I'm with my brothers. I'm super duper excited. We are reunited and it feels so good. I love my brothers. I have always been that older sister that has always been like, you don't talk to my brother like that. Talk to him right or you're gonna get, okay? Don't. Or anytime like they need, I was literally second mom since I could remember. I was always like, those are my brothers. I was never one to be like, they're like, ew, I can't stand them, or like be mean. I couldn't, because I was just like, those are my babies. Still am to a certain extent, because también I've spoiled those little freaking poopy stains, and now I'm like, no, y'all got me up. No, because they really be testing me, y'all. They really be testing me. And we literally had to like grow up together, but like differently. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's complicated. We go back and we're with Tommy, chilling with my brothers. My mom's doing her own thing. I don't even care. I'm like literally trying to just like manifest as a child, like literally. And I'm like, this is how it's going to be. We are going to move in with Tommy. And this is going to be our happily ever after, and this is just cool. We made it. We're cool. We're chilling. We're chilling like a villain, Jade. We got this, and nothing else mattered. Like, I was so cool to like, I felt so good to the point where I was like, that dude. I don't need him. I don't need him. I don't want him. This is it. This is all I want. That's the mentality that I had in that moment. So my mom is just chilling with Tommy. They're doing their own thing, coming and going, having to run errands. I hate when I would talk to my mom and I'd ask her like, oh, what are you doing? She'd be like, oh, running errands. I'd get so mad because I'd be like, your errands and my errands are like completely different. It's crazy. Because I really freaking hated errands because I knew what errands meant. So I was cool. I was chilling with my brothers, watching them as they did whatever the hell they were going to do. I was cool up until Tommy was like, oh, I'm going to go with your mom real quick. Watch mine too. Now, I don't really like to talk about children and like, oh, this and that, but they were some little buttholes, okay? Like buttholes. And I'm not saying like, oh, me and my brothers, we were like so well behaved. We were just, it was just different, you know? Like we would get chingazos if we acted up, and the other babies would get more of like a talking to, like you better not do that, and they would do it and be like, you're so annoying kind of attitude. So like it was different. Like they weren't scared of consequence. Me and my brothers, we were scared of consequence, you know what I'm saying? And it was just different because like even if my mom didn't like give us chingazos, she could just like hurt our feelings cussing us out, and that was enough to like make us cry, you know what I mean? I didn't really like watching Tommy's babies all the time because they would act out. One of the babies I was okay with watching because he like listened, super cute. The other ones were cute too. Super cute though because he was like chiquito, you know? But he would listen. and I didn't really have a hard time. The other ones, I had a little hard times, okay? It was hard. And I would do the whole like, I don't want to, I don't want to. And you know when you say you don't want to, and then the parent is like, you're going to listen to Alexis, okay? I don't want to, no. I don't want to hear that you weren't listening, and then you're just back there like, bitch, I said no. Like, it doesn't mean you talk to them, and then like, that's like, okay, yeah, you can watch them. That's not how it works, bitch. No, I said no. But no, she's literally talking to them like, you better listen. You hear me? Because I don't want to get a call. No, I don't want to get a call. And I'm literally looking at my mom like, and my mom is just looking at me. Like I tell you, my mom looks at me like she hates me. Just like, because I'm going to complain. And it's going to ruin her errands. I just felt like, oh, like mom, like, okay, when are you going to be done with these errands? So I focused my attention on my mom while Tommy's over here giving her kids talking, even though I don't want to watch them. So I look at my mom and I'm like, when are you going to be back? Like, when are we going to do stuff? It probably came off like, oh, I wanted to go out, go to the amusement park, whatever. But my mom knew what I meant too. She knew what I meant. She just didn't like me. And I hate saying that because I know my mom's going to be like, Jade, don't that. I loved you. And it's like, okay, but I'm telling you how it felt. I didn't feel loved. It constantly felt like you knew better. Don't ask me that. You know better. Like, you'll be alright, you know. But if like my siblings would like, oh, I miss you, I want to spend time together, or if my sister said it, it was like, it's always different. But like when I said it, like, you know better, like, why are you bugging me type of like attitude. So I'm like asking her, and she was like, don't start, I have to go run errands. Like, how do you think that we get this and get that? In my head, I'm like, my grandma, but I can't say that because then I'm gonna get and my mama has slapped the spit out of me before, and I've always kind of like treaded lightly because she literally gave me brought my ass back, boom, 3 times, and I'll never forget that slap. Okay, and nobody slapped me like my mama did, and that is not a challenge. Like, it was just like, oh, I was in disbelief of her slapping the shit like that. I was just like, god damn. And it like really like, wow, you know? So like when I would talk to her, I would kind of tread lightly because like I did not want to get the slap spit out of me again. Like, I just want to talk to you, like, you know? So I'm like asking my mom, and I'm like telling her like, I don't want to watch, you know, the kids and stuff because like they were some bad babies. And my mom gets annoyed, and she's like, you watch the, she's like implying I watch the, you know, the Peaches kids and stuff like that. Like, what's the difference? Like, oh my God, Jade, like, you're just always bitching. Like, if you don't do this, then we're not going to do anything at all. We're just going to clean the house. And I was like, okay. Oh, so you're going to be smart with me? And it was just, so they end up leaving. And I'm watching the kids. And these little babies were really rough with my siblings. So of course I wasn't like rude and like, hey, felt like I was like on edge because I couldn't like tell them to like, I couldn't like yell at them, discipline them, because I'm just like not that person. I'm never gonna hit someone else's kids. Like, I'm just not. You know how people are like, oh, it takes a village. It does take a village, but keep your hands off my kid. And I follow that too, you know? So it was just like so frustrating, and I was just so freaking mad because they weren't gone for like a few hours. They were gone for like hours. And I'm just like so annoyed because I'm not even spending time with my brothers like how I want, and just keep my eye on them. Like, I'm keeping my eye on these other kids too. And it's nothing against them, you guys. It's honestly, it was my mom and Tommy's fault. Like, I was always surrounded with babies, and my mom wonders like, you always just like love babies. It's like, well, yeah, you literally had them like all in my face all the time. I would watch my cousin's babies. I would watch friends' babies. I was a nanny. It was just like, I was always just surrounded with babies, you know? So my mom was just like, I wonder why you're so obsessed with babies, Lex. And I'm like, geez, I don't know. It's crazy. Crazy. My grandma ends up calling because she, I guess, is just curious of like how everything's going. And I talk to my grandma, and I get her all riled up because I'm like complaining about my mom. And my grandma's like, tell her no. Next time, just tell her no, that you're not going to babysit. My grandma has this mentality of like, if you say it with your chest, it'll get done. And I'm like, grandma, that's not how it works. My grandma's like, yes, it does. Say it next time. Say it like that. And my grandma's really like nasty with her words too. So she ended up just like making me so mad. So she was like chewing me out because I was watching the other kids too. And she was like, well, make sure they're not doing this and make sure they're not doing that. Grandma, I know, like, I know. So me and her just ended up fighting. And I knew within like minutes, my mom was going to call me and like cuss me out because I told my grandma what was going on, right? Like, I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming, and I was just so annoyed. I was super short when my mom called. She asked me like, how come I called my grandma? I tell her my grandma called me. And she just tells me that just to get my brothers ready, that she's going to drop them off with their dad. And I'm like, what? Like, we didn't even get to hang out long enough. And she was like, just get them ready because I'm going to drop them off. Because I guess their dad was asking. I don't know. It kind of felt like my mom was like, oh, it's hard for you to babysit the kids? All right, cool. I'm going to take them with their dad, and then you're just stuck with 2. Which is like, take these ones. I don't want you to take these ones. Take these ones over here. So I was mad. I was mad. So me and my brothers are talking, and they're excited to go with their dad. They're like, you know, they like their dad, whatever. I'm like butthurt because I'm like, I didn't even get to see them that long. Like, I'm super duper annoyed. Like, why? I don't get it. I'm just mad. So my mom ends up coming back, and Tammy is such a bitch. She has like such an attitude. Like, she got some nerve on her. Like, you got nerve, girl. You got nerve. And I just didn't understand it. Like, I didn't understand why they literally thought like this is fair. Like, I'm not talking about like they leave for like 2 hours. Like, no, they were gone for like 6, 7 hours. Like, I did a full shift of work. Okay. And like, how is this cool? Like, your kids are hungry, having to feed your kids, having to wipe one's booty. Like, how is this fair? How is this fun for me? And then you think just because you bring me Slurpee from 7-Eleven that's doing something, and some hot Cheetos, bitch, that's nothing. Like, it really made me mad, and it really felt like I couldn't really say much because I was the child, and it was okay for them to take advantage of the situation. I didn't mind watching my siblings. That's cool. I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna throw a fit. I minded watching other people's kids, especially if I wasn't getting paid. Like, and they didn't listen. It'd be different if they listened. It was all kumbaya, cool. We all got along, but it wasn't. Messing with the toilet paper, clogging up the toilet, and like just stuffing stuff down there. Hey, don't do that. Smacking each other, fighting with their siblings, fighting with mine, biting, smacking. They had a habit of biting, smacking, hitting. It was really bad. It was just like dumb stuff that they would do. Like, fill up the water and then just spill it because they just want... It was just like, oh my God, like a bunch of rugrats. And it just like really, really just like frustrated me because I was so overwhelmed. And my mom just escaped from like, you know, my stepdad. And I really just wanted to just chill out. But like, my mom wanted to be out hanging out with everybody else but us. She wanted to be everyone. She wanted to be everywhere with everyone, doing anything but be with her kids. And I just didn't understand it. And anytime I bring it up to her, it was, oh my God. So you just want me just to be right there. Just be right there. That's all you want. And it's like, I just want to spend time with you. Like, what's going on? It was so annoying. Like, I could see she had a job. She had a 9 to 5. She was going to school. Completely different. Like, when she was doing all that, completely understood. And she didn't have to justify her doing this and her doing that. But when she was doing the drugs, like, I feel like, yeah, like I had every right to tell her as her child, like, what about me? What about us? Like, what are you doing? I feel like I had every right. And as grown Lex, yes, I do feel like, yeah, like, why are you over there taking care of other people's kids? Because that's what she would do. I would see my mom taking care of other people's kids, or like, you know, comforting them. Like, what the fuck? What about us? Like, what are you doing? Like, what about us? Get over here. Like, it would literally make me so livid. So Tommy gets home and she has a little attitude, like she's asking when's the last time they ate, like really had the nerve. So I matched that energy. I matched the energy, and I was like, oh, because you were gone for so long. Like, I was so mad. I did not care. I did not care. I was like, you know what, cool, you want to be mouthy and slick with me, I'm gonna be right back. I don't care. And she thought she was so cool because like she would talk to me like so hood and so gangsta that like she tried to like scare me. So I don't care. I don't care. You get to a point where like you don't care. Nothing intimidates you, really, besides a man. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, because you left them and like you had stuff cooked? Like, okay. Like, I was so upset. And she was like, are you gonna answer the question or not? Yeah, I fed them this. And she's like, okay, was that so hard? And she sees that they had like used up like a roll of toilet paper, and she's like, Alexis, like, weren't you watching them? I was like, yes, I was feeding the other ones. That one went to the restroom. I didn't know I had to be like right behind him. And he was, well, someone has to go with him. And I was like, well, when I've seen him go to the restroom, when you're here, I don't see you going with him. That's me, not you. I'm confused. It'd be different if she left and she had like a whole list of rules, but she didn't. She was just like, make sure you guys listen to it. That was it. So she's huffing and puffing, and she's like telling me that like what else did they do? So I'm like telling her like, this is what they did. I cleaned up this, I did that, and then she's mad because the dishes aren't done. Okay, do the dishes. Like, do the dishes. We were gone like 7-8 hours. Like, I don't understand why there's still dishes in the sink. So she starts telling my mom. My mom's like, oh, do them. Like, shut up. Like, yeah, she fed them. So my mom had my back with like, yeah, she fed them. And what, you want her to be a housemaid? She housemaid. So my mom and her start getting catty with each other about that. My mom had my back on that. So my mom starts doing the dishes, and my mom starts yelling at me like, did you tell your brothers to get ready? Like, they need to get ready. Like, we need to leave. Like, do you not understand? So my mom is like infuriated because now her and Tommy are fighting. They're having like their like little disses. My mom's telling her like, I'm not a maid, and she's like, oh, but she can't help. Like, how is it so hard just to wash off a dish that I could put in the dishwasher? My mom's like, we don't use the dishwasher. Like, that wastes more water. So they're literally fighting about the dishwasher. My mom's yelling at me. So much chaos is going. The kids start getting riled up because it's like monkey see, monkey do. They get riled up. One of the boys starts to like play with my brother and just starts grabbing like a toy and just starts whacking him on the head repeatedly. So I'm like, hey. When I go, hey, Tommy goes, don't yell at my kid like that. And the whole house just goes quiet. Now, my mom was even quiet, and that's what let me know, like, okay, she's about to lose her shit. She's about to be livid. Because sometimes there's just like a calm before a storm, right? So my mom is like, shut the up, like, and I think she's telling me, so I should up. I'm like, and she looks at Tommy and she's like, what? And I'm laughing because I'm like, my mom's so mad she can't even get the words out. And then Tommy's like, what? Can't get your tongue, stupid bitch. So they start fighting. Mom's like, you're stupid. Your kids are bratty as f. Tell them anything. Tommy goes, well, at least I spend time with my kids. At least I want to spend time with my kids. She starts fighting with her like, oh, really, bitch? Because that's why you're with them, right? That's why you're with them. So they start doing that whole diss. I grabbed the toy from the little boy because like they didn't get my brothers ready, and my brothers are just like super annoyed because they just want to go with their dad already. Like, they just want to go with their dad and spend time with their cousins and stuff, which is cool, whatever. They can do all that. So they're literally like just talking smack to each other. My mom's doing the dishes, she's finishing up, and she then asks Tommy if she's ready. And I'm laughing because I already know. My mama got some nerve. Like, how you gonna cuss out this lady and be like, take me to go drop them off? But I already know how my mom thinks, because I already know how my mom is, and that's just my mom. She like she thinks that she could cuss you out, and just because you know her situation, that like it's okay and you're still gonna do it. I don't know how to explain it. Like, that's just how my mom was. Like, even when she came down and me and her got into our arguments, it was just kind of felt like it was like the same thing. Like, I already knew how she was thinking, and it just sucks because it's just like stale mom. She's getting better now, and our relationship has gotten better, but I just like know my mom, and that's why I think irritates me, because before my mom can even like finish what she's gonna say, I already know what's gonna come. Like, I already know it. Like, I already know the plan. I have the blueprint, and I know how it's gonna go. So Tommy was my mom. I'm not fucking taking you. Are you stupid? So my mom is like, well, how the gonna drop them off, huh? You know that I don't have a car. What, you want me to kiss your ass? I'm not gonna kiss your ass. And like starts talking to her like that. I know Tommy's gonna take my mom. I know it. Like, I don't know why they even fight, honestly, when they just know how each other are. Like, I honestly just think they like cussing each other out and getting out that they were each other's punching bags. Like, honestly, they really were, because that's just what it was. So she ends up taking my mom and my brothers, and I'm pissed because there was no watch them, no nothing. She just dipped. And I look at my mom. My mom was like, don't start, because I'm going to tell her like who's watching these kids, you know, like if I had someone to be, but I didn't. But my mom's like, don't start. So I'm like, okay, great. I don't even care. I watch them to the point where it's like I make sure that like they weren't hurting each other, they weren't in harm's way, but I wasn't gonna do anything extra and like pick up, because she can pick up, because she got me over here bitching about the dishes. Bitch, you can pick up the floor too. Like, no, because I had picked up the toys that they kept dumping. They would go to one room, dump their toys, go to another one and want to play with this, and I was picking up behind them. But you if you want to sit here and complain about some dishes face. So as they're fighting and like playing, having fun, being a kid, I get a text and it's from Mrs. Peach. She asks me that if I'd be able to go tomorrow and that I'm going to be babysitting hers and some other babies. And I'm laughing because I'm like, how freaking ironic, right? Because I'm over here complaining about being okay with like watching my siblings but not these, you know, babies. And I just tell her, yeah. I'm like, yeah, because like my brothers aren't there. To be honest, I don't want to be around my mama. I know that sounds rude. I know it does, but like it's not like my mom wanted to spend time with me. She didn't want to spend time with me. She liked the perks that came with me. Like, oh yeah, you could do this, you could do that, watch your siblings, this and that. But like honestly, like my mom could care less because she only cared about her in that moment. And I know it sounds mean, but like honestly, like it is what it is. And it's cool. So I tell her, yeah, what time does she need me to be over there? She tells me early because they're going to be setting up this new thing that they have, whatever, and that they needed me to like watch the kids. I say, okay, cool. I'm excited because I'm like, finally, I'm going to be reuniting back with the Peaches. Like, I'm like super happy. Like, I'd rather have that toxic than this toxic going on. Pick your poison. I'm going to pick this. You know, I'm going to pick this. It's like the epidural. It fucks you up, but it numbs you at the same time, and you're cool with it. You're just going through with it, you know? Ooh. I'm texting my mom like, hey, when are you gonna be back? She tells me when she's back. That why? It thought I got somewhere to be. And I'm like, no, I just thought since my brothers were gone, me and you could spend a little time together. And she's like, for what? All you do is just complain and complain. And so I'm like, all right, cool. So I just tell her, I just want to know when you're back because I don't want to watch the kids anymore. My mom's like, why? Like, what else are you doing? Like, how could they possibly be so hard? So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to text my mom because she's probably going to have Tommy run over here, do these errands, blah, blah, blah. So I text Tommy and I'm like, hey, Tommy, like, when are you going to be back? She's like, why? I'm like, because the kids are acting up and they're crying and I'm getting frustrated. She was like, frustrated how? Like, what are you going to do? I was like, what do you mean what I'm going to do? Like, it just sounded stupid. Like, what are you trying to, like, what are you implying, you dumb bitch? Like, I was so mad. I was like, what do you mean? So I text her, like, what do you mean? Like, I'm just telling you, like, I don't want to do it. Like, it just felt so weird. So 3 or 4 hours come by and it's already nighttime. Like, it's already time to go to bed. The baby's already passed out. Maybe they're kind of like, like not all the way sleeping, but like they're there, right? And I just like laid them out right there in the sala because I was tired. And as soon as she walked through the door, I wanted to be like, peace. I don't want to deal with it. I was so annoyed. Like, why? Like, why? Like, I don't understand it. Tell me why. Why you don't want to spend time with me? I'm over here crying with you so bad that like, oh, I miss you, this and this and this. And I feel like in moments like this, that's what like really made my heart go cold because I feel like I was constantly begging for like the relationship I wanted with her. And she just like didn't want it. She wanted to be doing her stupid ass errands and she wanted the street life. That was cool. All cool and dandy. But I feel like if my mom would have just been straight the up with me and been like, I don't want to do this, Jade, I would have probably dealt with it differently instead of like constantly chasing her because she'd be like, oh, I miss you guys, like I love you, you're my firstborn, yada 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 yada. So it's constantly like a mind game. But she would have told me straight up like, hey, I don't want this, and it would have been easier for me instead of me like having like the mind games, you know what I mean? It's so hard talking about my mama at times because I love my mom very deeply and I know she has her own story and it was probably very, very, very difficult for her, a lot of the things. I just wish there was like a different way that it would have went about. But it's okay because it made me who I am and that's fine, you know? I like who I am, that's cool. And it's okay. Like it's okay and it's not okay. You know what I mean? It made me who I am. And if things would have played out differently, what if I wouldn't have liked the person that I am? So yeah. Tommy comes through and she sees that the babies are like sleeping and stuff. She asks me how everything went and the house is a mess. She doesn't even say anything. She don't even got no attitude because I think she knows like, oh damn, like we really did go overboard. Even though they are the adults, like it's like I'm the kid, whatever. It kind of just felt like she was like, oh, we went overboard, you know? She has some McDonald's and she is like, you hungry? I'm like, yeah. So I don't know why I was like so scared to ask her like where my mom was, because I'm not gonna lie, I really thought she was gonna be like, she's locked up, gonna let her out. But I'm like eating with Tommy. She had food enough for me and her, so I'm like, okay, she knew that the baby's going to be asleep. You like, that's how it made me feel, because I could see if there was like some some extra like chicken nuggies in there, but no, there was enough for me and her. So I was like, you bitch, you bitch. So I finally asked her the burning question. I'm like, where's my mom? And she like tells me that she just needs some time for like, you know, for her, because like, Alexis, like, it's really hard for your mom. And tells me like the whole stepdad situation, that it's like really hard for her. Like, she can't believe what he did to me. And that shit, oh my God, I'm gonna try to say this without crying, irritates the fuck out of me, because I get it, it's her husband and she can't believe that it happened, whatever, but it wasn't the first time I told my mom. So it's just like, okay, I really hated the excuse of like, oh, your mom's wilding out because like she can't believe that her husband did that to you. What the fuck about me? Huh? Like, don't use that excuse, please, because that irritates me so bad. And if you are gonna use that as an excuse, then have me by your side and be like, we both are together. Like, I want Lex next to me, but like maybe that's why she couldn't be around me, because that was just a reminder of like what happened. But like, it really pissed me off to hear that, and like for adults try to justify it, like, oh, that's why your mom's wilding out, it's because she can't believe that her husband did that to her firstborn, her baby, and talk about me like, oh, my mom loves me so much. But it's like, so where is she? So I was so mad. I was like, I couldn't even eat. Like, my hunger was gone, because I'm like, again, like, we're gonna be doing this again. Like, it was so outplayed. It was so outplayed, and like, it really infuriated me, y'all, and it still infuriates me. I don't know why, because it just felt like I got the end of the stick both ways, because I didn't have my mom, and like, I broke up the family, even though like he's the one who broke up the family, but like, they still have him around. So like, who's the outcast here? Me. So like, I'm not even hungry, and Tommy's just like, it's just hard. Like, Alexis, like, you just need to understand. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna mess up my makeup. I'm like, I've been understanding. Like, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. Like, that's not fair. Because like, my brothers weren't old enough to understand the situation, so like, it made me mad, because like, they would say like, oh, because like, you know, your dad hurt Alexis, and so like, how's a child gonna understand that when they love the other parent so much? Like, how are they gonna understand? Like, and I think I'm the problem, right? So I was just mad, and I was just like, oh, I just want to run away. I just want a different identity. Like, fuck everybody, man. Like, fuck everybody. And then my grandma too be like, oh, I told her never to leave him alone with you, blah, blah. Where are you? You're not here. Like, so like, those words mean nothing. Nothing. Especially now, grandma. Like, you still let him come around. So people talk really good, but the actions aren't shit. And so when she told me that, I was just like, okay. So pretty much it felt like my mom was running away from me, and it made me so mad, because I was trying to run to her like all the time, you know. I was trying to like, I wanted my mom, but as like I'm talking about it, like, maybe that's why she didn't like me, or she couldn't be around me, is because like, I was a constant reminder of like what happened. I hate like how angry it does make me. Like, it makes me want to call up my grandma, my mom, fight with them, fight with my brothers. But I need to remember, I'm okay. I'm okay. And I'm not going to stoop to that level. I'm not going to try to teach someone loyalty. You can't teach nobody loyalty. You can't teach someone to understand you. You can't. You can talk someone's ear off. If they are not ready and they don't want to do that, then they don't. They don't. Their I knows and I'm sorries don't matter if it just keeps going. So I'm gonna save my breath, because I'm good. I'm okay, y'all. I'm okay. Man, I wish my tears were moisturizing. Like, that'd be something, huh? What is this one? This is face milk. Ooh. Soothing and moisturizing. So since I just like cried, let's hydrate my skin. Anyways, so Tommy says that. She sees that, like, I'm hurt. I start crying to her. She can't really, like, console me because some people are just not good at that. You know, some people are just not good with emotions. And, like, that's cool. That's all dandy. Just remember that bitch when you cry. Just kidding. But she's just like, you know, like, yeah. And she has the nerve to say, I'm just a messenger. And I was like, yeah. She asks me if I have any plans for tomorrow, and I'm like, wow, doesn't God work perfect? Doesn't God work perfect? Doesn't he? So I tell her, like, yeah, I'm gonna go help out a friend. And I don't even want to tell her, like, oh, you're gonna go babysit, because I didn't want to sit here and tell her, like, those kids are cool, okay? Like, I can handle them. I just can't handle yours. Like, I'm not gonna have that conversation with her, especially because, like, I still need to sleep there, you know? So, like, I'm not even trying to have that conversation with her. I just tell her that, yeah, like, I'm gonna go help a friend. She was like, well, I can give you a ride. She's like pity pleasing me now, you know? Because, like, I don't know if I can, like, honestly say, like, she did feel bad, but, like, from, like, her actions in that moment, you could tell she did feel bad. She tells me to get some sleep, that she will take me when I need to go and stuff, and that she's sorry. And again, she wants to talk about, like, it's really hard for my mom. She's like, when you get older and you have your own children, you'll understand that it's hard, especially with something like this. Like, it's a betrayal of all levels. And I tell her, I don't think I would treat my child this way if my husband did that. I don't think that I would be staying in a house with him and have my child not feel like she's loved. Oh, okay, Alexis. It's easier said than done. And I hope that you never have to go through it. And I'm just sitting there like, why does it sound like I'm the one who's getting the talking to? Like, why do I have to understand that? And so I'm just like, okay. And it was kind of hard for Tommy to, like, understand that, like, that was not okay. Like, no. Because she would do some grimy, dirty ass. And she had people around her justifying it. And it was not okay. And I'm not going to put her business out there. But just know it was grimy. And it was like, no. Like, okay. You don't do that. But whatever. I'm just, like, in shock, it feels like. Because I'm so angry. And I have so much anger that, like, I don't know how to, like, get it out. Like, honest to God. What happened? Did the pump just, like... What in the... I haven't used this one, but I do want to try it. Elf Halo Glow. But, yeah, I haven't tried it. It's not like a foundation, right? It's supposed to give you glow. A ver qué pasa, a ver qué pasa. I was just really angry. And I wanted to get this anger out. Like, I wanted to beat someone's ass. Like, when I tell y'all, and a lot of you guys are like, Alexis, go to our rage room. I'm gonna go to our rage room. I think I'm gonna have so much fun. I want to plan it. I want to go before, like, a birthday. I feel like it is going to do me so good to, like, because I still feel like I have so much freaking anger inside that, yeah, like, I am so down. So anyways, I'm, like, angry. I really want to fight. So who am I gonna fight with? My mama. So I'm, like, messaging my mom, asking her, where is she? Where is she? Like, what is she doing? Like, what? Like, how come she didn't come back? Like, fighting with her, trying to get an answer. She doesn't answer at all. So I just start texting her novels. Like, literally just novels of how hurt I am. I wish she was a better mom. My feelings are hurt. That it wasn't my fault. That he started touching me when we were in Mexico, and she knew that, and she would try to be like, oh, this, and he would try to say this. We're not gonna go into that, okay? But I was angry. Ooh, I look like I'm glowing. I was angry because I was like, you're gonna hear me. I'm upset, and I shouldn't be fighting with Tommy about this. I should be fighting with you about it. So I'm just texting her, going off. And I'm already thinking, like, oh, her phone must be dead because she's not replying, right? She texts me back and tells me to quit while I'm ahead because I'm gonna regret it. I'm gonna regret it. And I was like, regret what? Like, what am I gonna regret? Telling you how it is? I don't think I'm gonna regret that, Mom. So I'm just still going, like, going at her, because I am mad, you guys. Like, I literally, like, want to flip everything. And I'm so enraged. Like, I would hate when I would get this angry, because I wanted to physically, like, go out and, like, just punch a stranger and hope that they would, like, beat my ass so that I could just calm down. Like, I hated being that angry. I really did. Like, it's not good to be that angry. Like, it's scary. She tells me just to shut up, to clean up, and to go to bed, and that she'll see me in the morning. And I'm like, oh, the morning? Like, the morning? Like, why am I even here? Like, why am I even here? She tells me to do whatever the I want. But that if I leave, it's because I wanted to. Not because she kicked me out or anything like that. That she's not going to give me a sad story. That if I wanted to leave, then I can leave because I wanted to. That she didn't kick me out. And that would always make me laugh. My mom would say that. And she would say, I'm not going to give you a sad story. Okay. So I just took that as, all right, cool. I'm going to just go with the peaches. I'm going to write it out with them. I don't give a fuck. I'll write it out with them. I don't care. I don't care. And I was really trying to bottle up this angry moment, because in a sick way, this is how little Lex would think. That the next time when me and the ex were intimate, I would be this, I can make myself this enraged and angry that I wouldn't feel the pain, because it was so painful. I can't believe that, like, I would even write it down, because it just makes me, like, sad that I would try to bottle up that feeling so that I wouldn't feel anything, you know? I'm not gonna cry. So my mom just tells me again, like, do you understand me? Like, if you are going to leave, you're leaving because you want to, not because I'm kicking you out, because you want to, and I am not gonna give you a sad story. And I'm like, okay, cool. Because she didn't want people being like, you kicked Lex out. She didn't want that. She wanted me to be like, oh, because I wanted to leave. But I wasn't going to sit here and tell people like, oh yeah, like I left because she wants to be out with like Tom, Dick, and Harry, and she don't want to be with me. She want to be with everybody but me. Like, so it was just like, Mom, like, it doesn't even matter like you saying that, like, stop. So I'm a little relieved. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little relieved of like, okay, cool. Now I can just go with the peaches and like not even care about like my mom being upset or like feeling any type of way. Like, I'm cool. I don't know where I got this sponge, but this sponge is so soft. Like, I need to find out where I can get another one because it's so soft. And I'm gonna scoop this foundation back in because I am not wasting. Is that gross? I don't know. Is it? So I stopped texting my mom because I'm just like, don't want to deal with it anymore. And I got like pretty much like confirmation of like, you can do what you want on good, and I'm not gonna stop you. Cool. I'm cool with that. I'm happy with that, actually. Awesome. Oh wow, like totally freaked me out. I mean, right on. Toy Show #1. Have a hard time sleeping that night because I'm just so freaking mad. Gladzone Long Budo. This is the NARS one. It's my favorite. Everything I'm using will be linked down below if you guys are ever curious. Finally pass out and I wake up and it is a lot later than what I was supposed to. I'm kind of mad because I'm like, oh my gosh, the peaches are gonna be like, you know what? Never mind. This is why, blah, 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 right? So I wake up late and I'm kind of upset because Tommy didn't wake me up. Does she need to wake me up? No, because she's doing me the favor by taking me. But I was like mad. Like, I'm a mad little kid because I'm like, gosh, don't even want to be here. You didn't wake me up. Like, that's like the least you could have done. So I look at my phone and it's the peaches and they're like, are you coming? Yes or no? I write them, I'm so sorry. My phone was dead. Something came up, but yes, I will. Is that okay? They reply a couple minutes later and they're like, yes, it's fine. Are you going to be able to spend the night? And I'm like, oh, yes. Like, yes. Like, I'm so excited. Like, yeah. And I'm like, yes, I'm so glad you asked. Like, I'm being extra nice. Like, oh my God, I got this little dirty. I'm being like extra nice because like I really did mess them, you guys. I really did. I was like, you know what? It happened. I don't give a what happened. I just want to be reunited with them. Like I honestly did. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's how I was thinking in the moment. Like I don't even care. Like I don't even care what happened. I just don't want to be here anymore and have that be that constant reminder for my mom and me and her just be fighting all the damn time. We get along better when I'm not around, and that's just facts. So as I am getting ready, I seen that my mom had been texting me after I had texted her. She tells me that she loves me and that one day I'll understand one day. This whole time I'm thinking, okay, one day I'm going to understand. It's going to be like, I don't know, we're brujas or something like that. If there's like a magic thing, or like we're millionaires. I don't know. So it really messed me up when she'd be like, one day you'll understand, because I was thinking it was going to be something magical instead of like, not, you know? I go out into the sala and Tammy's there, and I ask her if she's still going to be able to take me. She's like, oh yeah, like I just didn't think you wanted to go anymore. I was like, no, I was just really tired. Like I stayed up. In my head, I'm mad because I'm like, bitch, you just didn't want to take me. Like I'm constantly fighting in my head, you know? So she's like, yeah, just give me a minute. And I'm like, okay. So I tried to like help clean up so that she couldn't use the excuse of like, oh, we have to do this. Oh, we have to do that. I asked her if my mom has been back, and she said, yeah, she was back earlier, but she just took off again. I'm freaking mad because I'm like, she couldn't even be like, oh, like, look, let's talk. Or like, she didn't even like care. Like she didn't even care. Like she didn't care. Tommy tried saying like, you guys were fighting and she just like didn't want to upset you again. Lies. 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 But say what you gotta say. Say what you gotta say. It's okay. So I'm like, I'm just excited. Like I'm not gonna lie. I'm just excited to finally out. And I'm like, you know what? It's cool. Like it's fine. Like why am I gonna get mad? Like Lex, why are you gonna get mad? Why are you gonna let it get to you? If like you're going to be reunited with like the babies and stuff like that, like it's fine. I wanted that comfort of them. I didn't want the comfort of like my mom. Like it's cool. Things are gonna go back to normal. It's okay. It's cool. So a couple more minutes go by. I asked Tommy, and I'm like, hey, I don't want to bug you. And she's like, yeah, it's fine. I just wish you would have got up earlier if you really wanted to go earlier. Now it's like interfering with things I gotta do. And I'm like, you know what? It's okay. Like I can just ride the bus. She's like, oh, don't be dramatic. Like I'll take you. Like just give me a minute. 2 hours go by. 2 hours. And I feel like every time I was like bringing it up to her, she was getting really, really annoyed with me. So I'm like texting the Peaches and I'm like, I'm so sorry. And the first time they replied, you know, second time they didn't. And then Mr. Peach called me and he's like asking me like, what's going on? Does he need to go pick me up? That what's going on? Did I say one thing and then I'm doing another? That is very frustrating because they had plans and now they're having to scramble around. And that do I not understand how frustrating this is? And I'm like, yes, like I'm so sorry. Like it's not my fault. It's never your fault, Alexis. And I'm like, okay. I just shut up. I just shut up. Because like, what can I say? What am I going to say? What am I going to say? And I ask him like, yes, if you can come get me. He's like, you should have said that sooner. Like, I wish you would have said that sooner. It would have saved us so much time. And I'm like, just taking it, you know, just taking it. Yes, I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. And he's just like mad. I end up telling Tommy like, hey, it's fine. Like my friend's parents are just gonna end up getting me. She's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, it's like 2 hours, like it's fine, like I'm sorry. And she's like, no, like it's okay, it's because like I had things to do and you slept in, giving me the whole shebang. And holy crap, this is really pretty. Like it's really coming through on the shine, really. So I was like, no, like it's fine, like I'm sorry, like I don't even know, like I didn't even think of like them picking me up, like I'm sorry. And she's like, Finally, Mr. Peach picks me up, and tell me why I'm like such a little kid. Like I'm so excited to see him and I can't kind of like contain myself, where I'm like, it felt like I was being rescued, but I was being rescued by demons. Like I was just so excited. So I get in the car, he has like the babies and I'm like super excited. I'm like, hi guys, I'm like really excited. They're happy to see me. Oh my god, oh my god. And the first thing out of his mouth is, how you ate me, huh? And I'm like, no, because I had it. And then he's like, so we go and eat, get a little snack. He tells me that like they're gonna be doing some stuff with some friends, setting things up, and that like he really needs me just like to watch the kids. Are you gonna be okay watching them all night? And I'm like, yeah, like I'm gonna be fine. He's like, okay. He doesn't want any drama. I hope you understood like this long break that we don't want any more drama, and we know that on our part we could have done better, and we want to move forward. And I'm like, okay, yeah, like I don't even want to talk about it. I forgot what happened, you know, that kind of thing. I was just like, okay, yeah, because honestly I was just like over it, and I just wanted to be so distracted that I didn't even think about my mom. Like honestly, honest to God, I wanted to be so distracted that like it wasn't even a thought of like, where is she? Is she okay? Is she getting kidnapped? Is she going to jail? Is she back doing this? Like, is she with so and so? Like, I didn't even want to think about it. I just wanted to be so like in work that I didn't have time to think about it. We grabbed and then we are on our way back. There is literally no one there, and I'm like, what the heck? They were going somewhere else. So I'm just there with the babies, having a good time. Like literally it was so cool, you guys. Like I still like remember, like it was just like such like a warm feeling where I just felt like I was kind of like dreaming, where I was kind of like, finally this is like home. And it sounds weird, right? Like it felt like, okay, this is how home's supposed to be, not like what I think how it is with my mom. It's just literally me and the kids. That's it. We end up knocking out upstairs on the bed, and we were watching just show after show after show. When they got hungry, I fed them. It was no biggie. Honestly, it was a breeze. Like it was just like things fell right back into place, and it was so easy. Like it just felt so good, where I was like, yes, like this is how it should be. Like this is how it should be, and I feel freaking awesome. And I was with my babies. Like it was so cool. We knock out and I wake up to my phone like ringing and ringing and ringing. You know how sometimes like in your dream you feel like you can hear it, and then when you wake up it's like, oh damn, it's been like 10 missed calls. Well, that's how it was. And it was my mom. So I answer it and I'm like, hello. She's like, where the fuck are you? She is so livid. And it's like 10 at night, okay? It's 10 at night. It's like super late. Like literally I was having a blast. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like screaming, like, where the fuck are you? I'm gonna go get you right now. I'm mad because I'm like, you're gonna take me away from my like safe little spot that I got going on. So I start cussing out my mama, and I'm like, what the f are you talking about? You told me to do whatever the f you want. Oh, you didn't remember? Probably because you too high, huh? So I start getting really disrespectful, and I forget like the kids are around me, so they're hearing me cussing up a storm, this and that. I'm like really mad, and I didn't really like think like, oh, the peaches are back or whatever. So I start like yelling. And Mr. Peach comes opening the door like, ¿Qué pasa? Like, what's going on? And I'm like I'm on the phone, and he's like, so he grabs the kids and he's like, man, like he's mad. And I'm like, because I forgot. Like my mom took me there, and I literally was like so like guerra. And I was just like so mad because why? Like it honestly felt like, oh, my mom was like, oh, I have a kid, let me go call her. Why? And for what? So me and her are arguing. She's telling me that she's gonna get me right now, that I don't make rules out. Who the do I think I am? And I'm like, Alexisjayda, don't be smart ass with me. You know who the I am? You know who I am? I was like, tell me who the you are. We sounded so stupid. But that's how my mama and me would talk. We would talk to each other like that. Like it was dumb. Like it was so dumb. Like when I would talk like that and I'd be around friends and they're like, who are you talking to? I'm like, oh, my mama. And they'd be like, girl, ghetto. She's telling me that she's gonna pick me up, and that there's no ifs or buts, and that I better not be with the ex. And I'm like, what? Like, I wasn't. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, I'm not. So I'm like arguing with her. She's telling me that she's gonna me up and that I don't get to do whatever the I want. So she's mad. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, why are you like all of a sudden caring? She's like, do you hear me? Do you hear me? So she's like pissed. As she's yelling at me, I'm like texting Tommy and I'm like, what's going on? Tommy's like, she's mad. She can't believe you really left. Like, she wasn't being serious. And I'm like, she literally told me to like deuce that I could. And she's like, yeah, I know. Like, I don't know. Like, where are you? Like, I'll go pick you up. And I'm like, I don't want to get picked up. So I literally was like, I don't want to. Like, I didn't understand why I had to. And it just pissed me off because I'm like, what is it that she needs to do that like she needs me to be there? Like, what is it, you know? Or it was just probably like the sense of control. I don't really know, because she was gone and then she finally got back. So she was like, oh, she's not here. It was so weird. I don't know, because this was something my mom would do. There'd be times where she would be like, oh yeah, like it's fine, go do your own thing. And then when she like, it felt like when she got bored or she needed me to do something, she's like, where the f are you? And then we'd be fighting. So I tell Tommy, I'm not leaving. Like, what are you, like, control her. I already tried. I didn't want her to call you. Like, it's already late. Da 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 da. So I'm like getting embarrassed. I'm like asking my mom, like, can you please stop? Can you please stop? Like, she's literally mimicking me like that. She's like, can you please stop? And I'm like, can I just stay? She's like, for what? For what, huh? So like, you like it, and you think I didn't get and that, and my stupid. So I'm literally like, no, I don't think you're stupid. So now my attitude has changed because I'm like, I don't want to leave. Like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave, my lord. I don't want to leave. Because I didn't. Like, for what? Just to go and watch Tammy's kids? Or like, honestly, for what? Like, to be with my mom? I wasn't with my mom. For what? Like, tell me. Tell me. For what? So I hang up with my mom and she tells me that she's gonna be on her way. She is gonna come get me. So I'm like crying because I'm so annoyed. I feel so embarrassed, where I'm like, I really thought like I was gonna be out here doing whatever the f I wanted. So Mr. Peach knocks on the door and he's like, can I enter? And I'm like, yes. He asks me, who was I talking to? And why was I talking like that? That like, is everything okay? And I kind of like confide in him and I tell him like, my mom is out. And he kind of just like smiles and he's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, yeah. I kind of tell him that like she's going through it. It's really hard for her. And my mom like gets mad really easily. And he's like telling me that like, yeah, that like when you have your own kids, I'm like, yeah, I know. But I told her I was gonna spend the night and now she changed her mind. So he's kind of like, I don't understand, Alexis. And I'm like, yeah, it's just really complicated. He tells me that, because like I had my mom on speaker for like a little point in time, that like it just sounded really nasty and that you don't talk to your kids like that. And in my head, I'm like, shut the f up, dude. Like, you talk to me just as bad. Like, shut up. Like, don't act like you're all high and mighty. No, it is. Like, don't think like just because we had this time apart that I don't know what kind of person you are. Like, shut up. I didn't forget. He's telling me that I always have a place there and that if I wanted to come back tomorrow, that's fine. Because I told him, like, she told me I couldn't spend the night. And he's like, and that's okay. Like, that's fine. And I'm like, did Mrs. Peach hurt here? And he's like, she's sleeping. I totally forgot about Sam. Totally. Didn't even ask about her. I was like so in La La Land. Didn't even ask about her at all. Just in case you guys are curious, like, where's Sam? Don't know. Don't know. So I'm like just sitting there, you know, and I'm like, got my shoes back on because she's gonna come pick me up. He tells me that he'll wait with me downstairs and not to feel embarrassed or anything like that. And he's like being super nice. I think because like he's low-key scared. Like, that's how your mama sounds. She sounded like a gangster. So he was probably like low-key scared because of like everything, right? Go downstairs and I text my mom, ready. And she tells me that I better not start anything, and that everything that I told her the night previous, I better be prepared to say it to her face. Because I was real brave saying it on messages, but I better say it to her face. And I'm like, okay. And she just texts back, K. Because I was ready. It's not like if I said anything like where it was like, oh my God, Alexis. Like I said truth. I said truth. So I said, okay. Because I'm ready. I'll say it. And I'll say it with my chest. So we're waiting and waiting and waiting. My mom never comes. My mom never comes. And I don't text her because I don't want to bug her and like, oh, remind her just in case she forgot. She never comes. It gets to like the point that Mr. Peach tells me just to go back upstairs and just to go to sleep. It was so embarrassing because my mom would do this because she was like trying to prove a point. Or she would tell me like, I let you stay. I just wanted you to know that like, well, whatever I say goes. She just wanted to make sure that she had control of me and that I understood that, you know? So I ended up going to sleep upstairs, wake up the next day, and my mom messaged me saying that if I hate her so much that she's just gonna stay away, blah, 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 blah. So I guess Tommy had talked to her and told my mom just to like leave me, like just to leave me alone. So my mom did. And so I was really happy because woke up and I think Mr. Peach felt for me because he was being like super nice, asking me if I slept good. And I'm like, yeah, I did. Thank you. And we were having breakfast and Mrs. Peach walks into the room. And I don't know why I was like so scared. Like I feel like when a woman is mean to you, it tends to hurt more than when a male is at times. Like a male can intimidate you, but a woman can destroy you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they can really hurt your soul. That makes sense? I don't know. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm making sense, but do you understand what I'm saying? So she walks into the room and she was like, oh, ¿cómo estás? I was like, good, you know, and she was like, sounds like you had a crazy night. And I was like, sí, perdóname, like, oh, like, forgive me, you know. And she's like, no, todo está bien, like, is everything okay? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, okay, qué bueno, because today's gonna be a long day. And they did say that they still wanted to talk about, like, everything that had happened, but that today's just not the time for it. And ya tienes mucho on your plate. And I was like, okay, gracias. You know, making sure to say thank you, please, todo, like, all of that. It felt like I was on, like, such eggshells that I didn't know how to act. And at the same time, I was like, no, we got to stay mad. But at the same time, I was like, you can't be mad if you want to be here and, you know, be part of the family. Like, you just got to get over it. It was such, like, a weird back and forth that I was going through in my head, that I guess it kind of looked crazy on the outside because they're like, ¿Qué traes? What's going on? What's going on? And I'm like, nothing. And they kind of just looked at each other like, what the f? Because I was probably looking like this. Like that. So they're probably like, bitch, is you good? You know? I was just struggling with my demons. Just struggling with my demons. They say to like take a shower, get the kids ready, and help them out. I'm like, okay, cool. Help them out. Cleaned up the dishes, and it was like back to like my routine that I would normally do. My phone keeps going off and I don't want to look at it because I'm thinking like, oh, it's going to be my mom. Don't want to deal with my mom or anything like that, so I'm like kind of avoiding it. I finally take a look at my phone because Mrs. Peach tells me like, por favor, like to look at it already. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I look at my phone and it's the ex, and he is like cussing me out because I haven't been checking in, and that what's going on, that why am I acting like this, that just because my mom's out, that I act like, you know, like a bitch. And it wasn't even that. It was like, dude, I have my own thing going on. Go suck on your mama's titty, okay? You stupid bitch. Like, I was just like, what? Like, he was still like pissed, and I'm like over here dealing with like other stuff, and it's like, dude, no one even cares. Like, what are you even talking about? Like, I was so like, what? So I don't even reply to him because I'm like, like, I don't got time for it. So I just put it on silent because I don't want it to keep dinging if it's him. And I just wanted to be like in the moment with them. And at the same time, I didn't want them to get irritated because when he would get upset, he would like text a lot. And I didn't want it to keep going ding, 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 ding. And then be like, what the right? So they tell me to finish getting the kids ready and that we are going to go to a friend's house. And I'm like, okay, cool. I still don't see Sam. So I'm like, and I don't even want to ask because I'm like scared. Like, what if I ask and then something crazy and they're like, oh, she died or something. I don't know, you guys, but I was scared to ask, and I was like, I'm not gonna. Why do I care? Why do I care? Like, to be honest, like, is it because like I want her here? No, I'll go. Keisha, ain't nobody give a fuck. So I was like, okay. They probably got rid of her. So as we're all getting in the car, I was like contemplating, like, do I bring it up? Do I bring it up? Then I was like, no, Jade, don't bring it up, because like we don't give a over here. We don't. I did care, but like to a certain extent, because she was a freaking biatch, right? So we're getting in the car and we're heading out to this friend's house, and they are just acting like they're like so happy with each other, and I'm like, what the heck all happened the time that I was gone? Like, what the heck happened? And I'm just like, okay, it feels weird now since I already like brought it up in my mind that like, okay, it's weird, like, where is she? How come I can't like stop thinking about it now? So as we're getting close to this friend's house, Mrs. Peach turns around and she's like, Alexis, por favor, Alexis, please, if they bring up like, where's Sam, just tell them that she is with her mom. And I was like, okay, where is she? And she kind of like looks at me and she's like, she's somewhere, like, it's okay, like, she's somewhere. And I'm like, that's so, I'm like, somewhere where? And Mr. Peach looks at me like in the like the rear view mirror, and then he like tells me that she's at a job. I'm like, oh, she got a job. He's like, but it doesn't sound like, oh, okay, yeah. So I'm like, something's off. So I start freaking out because I'm like, what if they killed her? Like, what if they killed her? Like, oh my God, like, what if something happened? And that's why I wasn't around for so long. Like, oh my God, what if something went down? Like, I'm like freaking out because they are making it weird, and them bringing it up like that just made me feel like something's up. So we get the babies off. Everyone is like running to go inside. And again, Mrs. Peach grabs me and she's like, so, ¿qué vas a decir? Like, oh, I'm just going to tell them, like, I don't know, that, like, I was with my mom. And she's like, you know what? Yeah, say that. So I'm like, okay. So we go inside, and I'm just like, just the babies, just the babies, just the babies. Because I am, like, just so happy to be back. Like, I don't even know how to explain it to you guys. Like, I'm just so happy. And I'm kind of thinking about Sam. So I messaged Sam. And I'm like, hey, dude, where are you? Because I'm curious. She doesn't reply, and I'm like, hey, are you good? Everything's good. I can't help but think, like, what the hell did they do to her? What did they do to her? So I am just like, this is weird. This is weird. I'm outside with the kids. They're playing with other people's kids, and it's just like pretty much, you know, everything's going good. Some people walk up to me and they're like, oh, hey, Mija, we haven't seen you for a while. How's everything? And I'm like, yeah, everything's good. Make some small talk, yada, yada, yada. And I feel like a tap on my shoulder. Ooh, I hit my finger like really good. I feel a tap on my shoulder. And I'm kind of like a bruja. And right away, I'm like, it's Joe. Like right away, I'm like, it's Joe. Like I just know it. Like I just feel it. I don't know. There's just something about him where I'm like, I know when it's him, right? I turn around and it's Joe. He's like, hey, like all excited to see me. Like if we don't have beef, like why are people like that, huh? Stay angry, please. Oh, hey. So like I hug him and he's like, how are you? And I'm like, good. And he and I are like making small talk. I'm not gonna lie, we did a little flirt a little bit because there's just something about him that like I was like, you cute. So it's like a good day, y'all. The breeze feels good, everything feels good, everyone's getting along good. And I'm like, where's your mom? And he kind of laughs and he's like, she's not here. And I'm like, why are you laughing? He's like, chill. He's like, I'm just laughing because it's funny because instead of you being happy to see me, like you're worried about my mom. And I'm like, well, you know, like I really like your mom. And he's like, yeah, your future mother-in-law. Being hella slick with it so quick. And I'm like, Joe, I don't even like you anymore. He was like, what? I was like, yeah, you know I don't like you. Like what are you doing? Because like I would really hate how like people would forget like what they did, you know, and they think just because like time passed that like everything's all cute and cool. No, like just because I'm being nice and saying hi doesn't mean that like everything that was like done is like cool. Like it's not. And he acts like he didn't hear what I said and just kind of like laughs and like brings me close, and he's kind of like just like, you know, playing with me, whatever. And I'm like, no, like I'm serious. And he's like, yeah, it's okay. He said wifey's allowed to get mad. I was like, I'm not your wife. Like, you're crazy. He tries to be super cute because I'm like, I'm not your wife, like that, right? And I'm like, you're tripping. So as I'm going like, you're tripping, he goes, no, I'm not. I can't help but get like, oh my god inside, because like he did it in front of everybody. He didn't care that like adults were looking at us, and like the adults are like, ooh, like, you know, whatever. He walks away. Like, I guess that was him dropping the mic. He just walks away, and I'm like, do I follow him? Like, no, dude, don't follow him. Like, what the f are you doing? So everyone's like, ooh, right? And I'm like blushing, super red in the cheeks, okay? And I'm like, oh my god, he's so stupid. You're so dumb. So this is like a friend's house of their friends. So there's like a lot of people that like know the Peaches and stuff. So they're like, oh, hay comida si quieres comer. Like, there's food if you want to eat. And I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. Mr. Peach and Mrs. Peach kind of give me a look of like, you know, give me a look like, you know, to grab. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So I'm getting some food. The little ones are like, oh, I want this, I want that. So I'm like feeding them. And we sit down. The Peaches are like interacting with the other ones. And I get a message. And I'm thinking it's Sam. And it's my mom. And my mom's like, where are you? And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, why are you acting stupid? Answer my fucking question. Where are you? And I'm like, I'm at a birthday party. She's like, so that's it? You didn't want to talk to me? You just left again? And I'm like, I'm so confused, Mom. So I start fighting with my mom with text message, because I'm like, dude, like, why are we doing this yet again? Like, it was so toxic fighting with my mom, because it was constantly like fighting. It was so toxic fighting with my mom, because like me and her could go at it for like ever. And with my mom, I really was disrespectful with like what I would say, but at the same time, like, it was truth, you know? So I'm fighting with her. One of the kids starts like whining because the other one's picking on them, and Mr. Peach walks over and he's like, por favor, put your phone away, and to like watch the kids. Like, that's the whole reason why I'm here. Like, what's going on with me? Like, this is, you know, like why I was there. And I was like, oh, like, I'm so sorry. And I put my phone away. He gets upset and he like tells me that he knew it. Like, oh, I knew it. That like I shouldn't have came back, whatever. And I'm like, dude, like, that went too much. I was like, I'm sorry. So like I have a little attitude with like how I said sorry, because I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, it's not that serious. Like, they're literally fighting over like some chips and stuff. Like, it's not that serious. Like, they were fighting because they were like, this one's mine, and they were like picking off each other's plates and stuff. Like, it wasn't that deep for him to be like upset. But he was probably like just watching me on my phone while they were fighting, and was just like getting irritated that like I wasn't like tending to them like I should have, you know? So I'm just like apologizing, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. And he's like whispering like some rude under his breath, and I kind of just like make a face, because I'm like, you got me like so messed up. And as like I'm making a face, Joe reappears and tells me that like, what's going on? Do like I need something to talk about? And I'm like, dude, like, you really are a trip. I don't like you. It's like, I know you keep saying that, but you don't have to like me, so as long as you love me. And I'm like, I don't even love you. Like, I don't even love you. Like, I have a boyfriend. And he pretty much tells me that the ex is no competition, that it's all right, that you can have your little thing over there, but that I'm the only one who has like his heart. He's like, and I know I got yours. And I'm like, what is going on with you? Like, what? I don't like you. I was like, did you not forget like all the drama? That's petty. It's petty. And I'm like, what is going on with this kid? Like, I was really like, what? I was confused. I really was thinking like he must have popped something. He must have fell on his head, because I am not interested. I am not interested, like, at all. Like, I don't even want to get, like, what are you talking about? He just had a thing where, like, when we see each other, he'd be like, oh, she knows what's up. No, I don't. What is up? What is up? It might be your pito, but it's not me. No. Chapter 32. He's tripped. Like, he's really, like, anytime that we would bump into each other or run into each other, and like he'd be flirting with me, and I'm like looking at some clothes, and I look up and my heart drops, because I was like, oh my god, 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 because I wasn't gonna be like, oh hey Jill, like fangirling over him. He got me up, like he really do. So I was like, yeah, I see him. And he was with his friends. He's like, I know she see me. I know wifey see me. I know she see me. Like, that's how he was talking. His friends were like, go talk to her. He's like, I don't gotta talk to her. We connected. And like, just like some corny stuff. Like, he really thought he was cute. And that's how he was. So that's what he was doing. And like, this is what he was like doing, that like I didn't know he was like setting up for the future. Right? He did to me one time when I was out with like my husband, and he did not dare to try it. He did not dare to try it. He knew better. But anyways, I was like really like, what? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, what is really wrong with you? Me and him were just sitting there, and he's like just laughing because I was playing with you. Like, stop. Like, why are you so tense? Like, just like talking to me, and he's playing with the kids too, because I think he knew like, okay, like if you don't entertain the kids too, then like they're gonna be like, Alexis, what are you doing over here? You know, that kind of thing. So we're like talking, and I'm like snacking a little bit because I'm like kind of nervous, because like he does make me nervous. Like, I'm not gonna lie, okay? He did make me really, really nervous, and I was like, and he was like, so like, where you been? Like, there's been like a few parties and stuff, and like I don't see you. And I was like, oh, like I was just dealing with some family stuff. He was like, well, like tell me, like what's up? Like, you good? Like, you good, ma? And I was like, stop it right now. I was like, yeah, like I'm fine. He's like, so you like it when I call you ma? I was like, I was just answering your question. Like, he was just like, stop being so pushy, like for real. So I asked him, I'm like, hey, like, do you know where Sam's at? And he's like looks at me like if I'm asking something crazy, right? He's like, and I'm like, do you? And he's like, yeah, like, don't you? And I was like, no. And then he's like, you don't know where she's at? And I was like, no, like I was gone, and like I was like, I came back, and then like before we got here, they're like, oh, if they ask and stuff, like just say that like, oh, she's with her mom. And he's like, that's weird. And I was like, where, like, do you know where she's at? And then he like leans close, and he's like, yeah, I'll tell you. And so I'm like, because like I really want to know, right? And he's like, I'll tell you. I'm like, okay. Like, I could feel like his breath like hitting me, you know, and it did smell bad, but like, he was just like, it was like close. He's like, I'll tell you. And as he's looking at me, I see that he's looking at my lips, and I was like, and before I could like back up, he pulls me close to like grab my chin and kiss me, and but like he can't kiss my lips. All he goes is, and I'm like, oh. I was like, you're so stupid. Like, I got so mad. I felt embarrassed for the most part, because like we're out with adults, but he did not care about adults. Like, he did not care. Like, he knew like he was that kid. Like, he knew he was that rich kid that could do whatever, right? So I was like, you're so stupid. And so like I get up all dramatic, and I was like, I'm gonna go away. He like grabs my hand, like, come back, like it's cool. And I was like, I'm like going like this with kids. I was going like this with the kids, and I was like, come on, let's go inside. And Mrs. Peach is like kind of like a little bit tipsy. She's talking with the girls, and she's like, he really likes you, huh? And I'm like, because we're not gonna even get into that, okay? Don't act brand new. Don't act brand new. Don't. So I'm like, and so we go and sit in the sala, and I'm like really hoping to like, as I'm scanning the room, that like I'll see Bubbles. Like, I'm just really hoping that like maybe I'll see her, like maybe, just maybe, you know. But no, I didn't. I did not. So I grabbed my phone again, because like the kids are cool. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see if like Sam has texted me. So I text again, and I'm like, hey Sam, like, are you good? Like, are you good? Like, where are you? Like, are you good? Nothing. And I'm like, what the fuck? I check my other messages, and it's my mom. She's still going off, like still going off. She had a whole fight by herself, and then she's like, I love you, I just want to know if you're safe, and like just having her own little argument. I'm like, Mom, I'm good, just leave it at that. And I noticed that I have a missed call from her grandma, so I'm like, so I tell the teachers, like, I'm gonna go to the restroom, like I can't watch the kids, like I'm gonna be in the restroom. They're like, it's fine. So I go to the restroom and call my grandma. My grandma was cussing me the out. That, who did I think I am, that like where am I at, that like my mom's worried, and that I don't just get to do whatever I want. And I'm like, what are you, like, me and my mom are good. Like, I just talked to my mom, me and my grandma end up fighting and stuff, and she is just like super upset that like my mom pretty much just like let me go, and that she's cool with me like just being out in the calle, whatever, out in the street. And I'm like, okay. So I hang up on my grandma, I text my mom, and I'm like, I don't know what you're telling grandma or what, but she just like cussed me out. I told her that we're good, and she's like, just leave it, just ignore her. I'm like, okay. I get a private call in that moment. I answer, and I'm like, oh my god, like, Sam? Who the fuck is Sam? And it's the ex. So I just hang up because I'm like, I'm not gonna even deal with it. So as I'm going out, Mrs. Peach meets me right there, and she like pushes me back in the restroom, and she's like, why are you texting Sam? And I'm like, huh? Like, I'm just like, what? Like, trying to act so stupid. And I was like, ¿qué? Like that. She was like, Alexis, why are you texting Sam? I was like, I just want to know where she's at. Like, you, like the way you said it, like I was just like, no, I just want to know. She's like, but why? And I'm like, I just want to know. She's like, but I told you where she was. And I was like, okay, but like, I just want to know. And she's like, for what? And I'm like, I just want to know. She's like, you're so ridiculous. And I'm like, okay, like, I just want to know. She's like, just go out there, have fun with the kids, go play with the ese muchacho, like, go, you know, go talk to that boy, whatever. And I'm like, no. She's like, we'll talk about it later. And that just to like pretty much mind my business. And I'm like, okay. So I go out there, and Joe's playing with the kids and stuff. So of course I sit right next to Joe. I sit right next to Joe, and he's like talking to me like this, but like not looking at me. And he's like, hey, like, I apologize. Like, I'm just messing with you. Like, there's just something that you do to me. Like, it just like, you know, like, you get me happy. Like, you just like, you know, all these butterflies, and I need to talk to no girl like this. And I'm like, because Joe was a player. Okay, I'm not stupid. I'm not dumb. Do not remember the wedding. So yeah. So I'm just like, like, just listening. He's like telling me like how much he misses me, and like he made some mistakes, and I'm like, we're just teenagers, Joe. Like, it's nothing, it's not that deep. Like, it's nothing serious. And then he finally looks at me. He looks over like this, and then he's like, but I want it to be serious one day. Like, I do want it to be serious one day. Like, we could both have our fun. And I'm just like, you're rolling on something. And he starts laughing, because I guess that's not the way you say it. And like, I didn't know that kind of terminology. And I was just like, you know, I felt stupid. He's laughing, we're laughing, and he's just like, watch, like one day in the future, this is gonna be us. And like, the kids are right there, right? And I'm like, I see the future, but it ain't with you. And so he just starts to like, whatever. So time goes by. We're just talking about like dumb stuff. Like, it's really nothing. And then I get back to the conversation, and I'm like, hey, so like, do you know what happened with Sam? And he's like, no. He's like, every time like anyone brings it up, whatever, they're like, they don't say nothing. They're just like, oh, she's at school. Oh, she's doing this. Oh, she's with her mom. And I'm like, what? And then he's like, yeah. And he's like, what do you think happened? And I was like, I don't even know. Like, maybe she did go back with her mom. So it was just kind of like a, no one knew, but like no one was buying their bull there. He was like, yeah, like, we don't even know. That like they ask the kids and stuff, and the kids don't even know. And I'm like, that's so weird. So I'm like, where is Sam? Sam's missing. Did they murder her? Like, what's going on? Like, I'm freaking out inside. So me and him, like, we do talk. We do talk, kind of flirt a little bit. And he's just like, I didn't even want to come today, but my mom dropped me off, and like, I'm so glad I came. Like, he's just being like super, super nice. But I have to remember in the back of my head, like, Lex, no. So some people are leaving, some people are going, some people are leaving, some people are going. In walks this girl that I used to go to school with. Kay used to. She was the biggest bitch ever. And of course, Joe's like, hey, what's up, Jasmine? That's what we're gonna name her, right? She's pretty, but she bitchy. So I get like super like, oh my god. And as he gets up to go greet her, he grabs my thigh, and I was just like, you know, and she walks closer, and he was like, yo, this is Alexis. I know who she is. Like that. And I just look up, and I'm like, oh, hey. She's like, hey. Like, really, like, trying to be really, really nice. And I just, like, so all three of us are on the couch, like, you know, just a bunch of teenagers. The kids are all playing. The adults are like drinking. Mexican music is playing. Everyone's dancing, laughing, doing the grito, todo, having fun, eating tacos. It was good. It was a good time. Jasmine's like trying to like, oh, like, so like, you know, what you've been up to, trying to like, you know, get some like information on me. And I'm just like, nothing, because I don't like this bitch. Don't like her at all. Like, I don't like her. And I'm like, oh, like, yeah, nothing. She's like, you still with so-and-so? And I'm like, yep. And Joe is just sitting there like this, thinking he's so cool. As like we're both talking, keeps going like this, goes like this, and then he kind of like randomly would grab my thigh sometimes when I would talk and like ha ha ha, and I would see her look at his hand, look at me, and I'd be like, she's gonna tell the ex. She's gonna tell the ex. So every time he grabbed my hand, I would move it on his, and he'd smile, and he would like grab my hand and be like, just straight, you know, flirting. And Jasmine would be like, oh, you like her or something? And he's like her? I love her. Like, stupid. I was like, Joe, you don't know what love is, okay? Go love your mama. And Jasmine starts laughing. I start laughing. He kind of gets like a little mad because he's like, am I a joke to you? And I'm like, Joe, stop. Because like, it was never going to be nothing. It was never going to be nothing. I didn't forget. So he kind of gets like he wants to get mad, but he collects himself because Joe can be a dick sometimes. He collects himself, so he gathers himself, and so she's like, so what you been up to, Joe? She's talking to Joe, and then Joe is like, nothing, just been chasing. And she's like, chasing what? And he's like, looks at me and just smiles, and I just like melt. And where I'm smiling, where we're just like smiling at each other, Jasmine's just like looking at us. Y'all, I was so freaking scared. So scared that like she was gonna go tell the ex. Like I was so freaking scared. Like I was scared. I was like, okay, Alexis, like bring it back. Like I was really like, what are we doing? Like, oh my god, what are we doing right now? What are we doing? I wanted them to leave first so bad because I felt like if I left these two together, he was gonna bang Jasmine. Like I just felt it. I was like, oh, I just feel it. So time goes on and we are getting ready to leave. And I noticed that Jasmine and Joe are getting kind of like, ha 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 ha. I am not gonna lie, I did get a little jealous, but like I had no right to get jealous because Joe was not mine. He just told me nice stuff, you know? It was just one of those things. Like when I see you, I see you. And when I don't, I don't. It was that. So as we're walking out, Joe's like, bye. Bye. It was nice seeing you, Alexis. Bye. Like, you know? And Jasmine is just like laughing, looks at me. And she's just giving me this like sinister smile, like that. And then she looks at Joe. And then she looks at me. And I was like, bye. I was like, hopefully you two can get to know each other. And I just like did that, whatever. And then he's like, we already do. When he said that, I was like, okay. Like I felt so dumb. And we're walking out. We get in the car. Mrs. Peach is like peda. Like peda. She is like super duper drunk. Drunk. And she just like keeps grabbing Mr. Peach's thigh. And just calling him papi. And just like talking to him. And I'm just like, they're gonna have another baby. Because how she is, like, he is just like cheesing, all happy. And I'm like, where the Baltimore? Where the is Baltimore? So I don't know why I did it. Everyone's like happy, the kids are like sleeping, and I'm like, where's Voldemort? And instantly killed the vibe. Instantly. Mr. Peach looks at me in the rear mirror. Hi, Alexis. ¿Sabes cuándo? Like when I knew, you know exactly when to ruin the mood. And I was like, oh. And Mrs. Peach looks back all crazy like that. And then she's like, that she's out with her novio. As soon as she said like, oh, she's out with her novio, he's like ripping the wheel. Like it frustrated him. She looks over at him and you could tell she got annoyed. And then she just looks forward. And it was such a freaking quiet ride back where I was like, okay, so we got some digging to do. I don't know why I was like that. It was like, dude, why? So as soon as we get in the house, Mrs. Peach goes upstairs. She takes the babies, and Mr. Peach is like, Alexis, I need to talk to you. And I'm like, okay. So as we're sitting there, he's like, why? Like, why? And I was like, I'm just curious. Like, I just wanted, pero por qué? Like, sabes, like we're having a good time, and blah, blah, blah. They're like, why? ¿Qué traes? Why? And I feel bad and I apologize. I was like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. I was like, I just wanted to know where Voldemort was. He's like, but why in that moment? Because I'm a bitch. And I was like, I don't know. I'm sorry. So like, I'm just apologizing to him because like, I shouldn't have. I didn't have any right to. I was just being a little cosa. I don't know. So I was like, I don't know. He's like, and then you're texting Sam. And I was like, and how did you guys know I was texting Sam? And then he's just said that because he knows. Because I know. Yo sabe todo. I see everything. I know everything. And I'm like, oh my God, here we go again. So I was like, okay. Okay. And he pretty much tells me that, like, they sent her away. Like, they sent her away, and that why? They sent her with a family member, and they're like, why do I care? Why do I care? I didn't even like her. And I was like, I don't know. He's like, what, you think something bad happened to her? Nothing bad happened to her. Why? And I was like, okay, sorry. Like, I was just like, I don't know. I don't know why it was this way. I just wanted to be a mocosa.
Mom, we bought pizza for you.
Ooh, okay. So I apologize. Like, I feel stupid. I'm like super duper apologizing. Where I'm like, I had no right. I'm sorry. And he is like pouring like his drink, and he like tells me just like to go up and to go to sleep with the kids and stuff like that. That like he'll talk to me tomorrow, and that I am spending the night, right? And I was like, yeah, that's okay. And he's like, yes, just go. And so I'm like, okay. So I'm like really happy because I'm like, like he didn't tell me to leave or anything. Like, okay. And I kind of felt like he was scolding me like a parent, you know what I mean? So I was like, I'm back, bitches. That's how I felt. So I'm going upstairs, and as I'm going upstairs, I see Mrs. Peach, and she's in the extra restroom. I don't know why she wasn't in the main, but she's in the extra bedroom, and she like has her stuff out, and she's like washing her face, and she's like doing her stuff, and she's like, Alexis, Ben. And I'm like, okay. So I go in there, and I'm like, what's up? And she's like, ¿Sabes qué? Get us, like, you want the truth? You want the truth of like where Sam's at? And I was like, yeah. Yes. And she's like, we sent her away. And I was like, pero por qué? And she tells me because she is pregnant. So I am going to leave it there. I love you guys so freaking much. Besos a todos. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.